Greetings everyone, I have returned and I present you the latest patch, version 69. First off, some explanation of what I'm doing and so forth. And I know I promised you last time that I would basically release 1.0 this summer. But there's been some change of plans, and I don't think this is a bad thing, because the longer I postpone 1.0, the better the final product will be. And I'll say this again, 1.0 for me, it's a version that is live for a very long time, that people can build mods to, and that I can bug fix and polish to a great state. So it's kind of like it's a milestone, really. And then I'm going to continue after 1.0, that's my plan at least. But that will be a standalone project, so to speak. So it will be released like an expansion pack or a DLC or whatnot, we'll see. But so you shouldn't pay any heeds to my plans, but the plan right now is to postpone 1.0 to March 2026. And that should, in theory, give me enough time to do what I want to do. Because the thing is that, and this has been repeating all over and over again, every patch I make for the last 2 years, I've thought this is the final patch before 1.0. But sadly they aren't. As the patches are played and I get feedback and such, I have to go back to the drawing board and make another patch. And I feel the same way about this patch, even though this patch is very polished. There are a few things that I missed and a few systems that are not up to snuff. But the difference now from 2 years ago is that my patches are mainly about polish. More and more are about polish, and this patch is mostly about polish. And that means that I'm not adding any new things that need to be polished later on. So that's a good thing. We're moving in the right direction. And I actually feel that there are very few things that I want to do in the next patch. So that will be a small patch as well. And this is a small patch. There's not very little juicy content. There are hundreds of smaller tweaks and fixes. That's about the future, and I apologize, but I don't think you should be upset that I'm pushing off 1.0, because it makes for a better end product. So let's begin. What have I done this time? Let me just bring up my notes. Yes, we'll start with fertility and water. Okay, for a long time fertility and water has been a bit strange to me. I haven't quite found a system to unite the two, but now I have, I think. And what we have is basic fertility, which is it's soil type. You can see here soil type alluvium, if I pronounce that correctly. Alluvium is for trees, so trees will grow there. So you need to put your orchards there, and you have natural, and woodcutters of course, and then you have natural growth there as well. So there are different soil types. Let me see if I have, here we go. Each map is generated randomly like this. You can see the bright stuff, that's good farmland, while the dark stuff is not really good for anything except for maybe trees. And what happens here is that you get a combination of moisture. I call it moisture now, not irrigation or sweet water or something like that. It's moisture. So moisture combined with soil type give you the preconditions for farming and stuff like that. So all maps have more or less the same soil type composition like this. And then you need to add water in deserts, and in lush lands or naturally moist lands you don't need to add as much irrigation. And to compensate for this, the dry maps, the desert maps and so on, have a lot more good soil to build on. So that's how it works. And the irrigation works as previously. We can see if we can have a look. You see, this is the irrigation, and there are a few tweaks like the irrigation stacks and so on to get the moisture. But the map has natural moisture without any irrigation, like it looks like this. And yeah, so you basically do the same stuff you've always done, but there's no golden ratio. Every map is different, and so you'll need different amounts of irrigation. But to compensate for this headache, irrigation is a lot cheaper. Let's see if we can find a pump somewhere. Where could the pumps be on this? This is a map from alpha testing. I sadly don't know who it is, so I can't give credit, but yeah, here we got the pumps. So I've changed the pumps as well. I just want to show you can have small and big pumps, and you just need to have the two final tiles on the sweet water, groundwater, or whatever. So you should be able to fit pumps, and you shouldn't need to have that many of them either. That's it. And then we have another new thing, which I think is quite ingenious, if you ask me, which is let's see, where is it? Foundation. Foundation is just randomly distributed like this, and in my mind you can come up with any explanation you want, but it's the bedrock of the ground. So you know, if it's high, it's probably easier to build on, or maybe it's the opposite. I don't know, I'm not a builder. But yeah, so you have these, and the thing is that these affect the maintenance of your buildings just by -10 or +10%. So if you build on this lot here, you're gonna get less maintenance, and so that makes you perhaps, for one thing, it rewards you to build organically. Same as with the fertility and everything, many other things now. You have to build organically. Like, it shouldn't be you shouldn't do the square blocks. The square blocks are better because they're more efficient, and they're a hell of a lot easier to make. But this will encourage you to build organically, and in my mind, nicely. It looks better if you build organically rather than endless blocks of the same things. So that's a small, indication that you can do that. If you want to min-max the game, you'll have to build organically, or maybe not. I don't know. I haven't really compared the straight blocks to organic and get 10% for that. But I think you're gonna benefit from building organically and follow these rules. But I didn't make them as strict as I initially thought I would, because come to realize that when I'm adding a new system, it might not be liked, and so it's better to have soft systems that you can choose to ignore or choose to use. And let's see what else are in my patch notes. Fertility, logistics. Okay, let's talk about logistics. I've remade logistics, fixed a few things. Let's see what I have. Okay, so for one, if you have for a warehouse, for instance, I have the old system has returned, if you can remember that. It's called prioritize. It was called fetch before. And basically what this does, if I enable this, all the other warehouses or logistic rooms inside the radius, this warehouse is going to fetch from those, so that so it's very easy to set up a logistic system. It's not, you can't control it 100% like you can with these orders, special orders, but you can do a lot with this. So if you don't want to bother with logistics that much, you can use this system. And it works for export depots as well. All all the logistics rooms. So for exports, for instance, it's very easy to set up exports because you just plop down the export depot and then you click the resources, and then the workers are going to fetch from other warehouses automatically. And so that's nice. I didn't want to have these two systems. That's why I removed it previously, because these fetch orders can do everything that this simple thing can do. So I didn't want to have dual systems, but now I have, because this is kind of messy and might not be preferred. So what else do we have regarding logistics? Let's talk about transports. You can forget the old transports, and let's see if we have any transports in this map. Transports. Should have a search here. Shouldn't there be a search here? There we go. It's no longer called transports. It's called loading station. And it looks like this. So and it looks like the old transports, but now it's a train, so it has 4 cars, and you can build I think you can build different sized ones. No, you can't. You can only build this size, and that's fine. It's very powerful, and it can hold up to 25 workers. And what it does is the same thing as before. It fetches stuff, it loads the carts, and then it departs. But it doesn't. You don't have any destinations to set here, because you build the destination separately. Let me show you. It's called the unloading station, and those look like this. Let me just turn off the overlay. They look like this, and basically you build these, and then you select what resources they're going to accept, and all transports are going to transport onto these stations. So I imagine that, and this system is for large volumes of materials. So I think it's about 400 per day I had as but I'm not sure it works like that, but it's something like that, 400 per day. So it's for large volumes. So I imagine that you have, just like in this city, you have a couple of these. This is a very big city, 8,000 population, 8.3 thousand population. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 destinations. So you're gonna have automatic distribution in your city from the loading stations to the unloading stations. So that will help you a lot with logistics. So these are the arteries of your city, and your veins are the warehouses. And there's been some additional changes. Like service rooms, for instance. Their workers, when they fetch coal to the bathhouse, for instance, they can carry the same amount as a warehouse worker. So there's no point in having an extra warehouse just for coal for the bath. And that's the same for all the services, basically. And then for industries, they also have some free fetching, which means that, let me see if that's here somewhere. It should be here somewhere, I think. You can get an overlay by doing something. Never mind. Pretty sure I made an overlay. If you hover one of these, it should be somewhere. But anyway, so they get a couple of tiles for free to get their input for the produce. So that means that bakers, for instance, they have no disadvantage compared to what do I know, jeweler or something like that. And that's that. And oh, we're already at 14 minutes. I was gonna talk. I thought this was gonna be 3 minutes. Tech, last thing. The tech has been remade, so you actually get some free tech from your leveling up. Like where is it? It's over here. You can see that you get 20 free innovation from this level, and then it continues like this. And this is very helpful, and it makes you start with labs much later on. And labs are also changed so that half the innovation comes from clay. So they need clay, the labs. And this has severely reduced the ratio of labs needed. Let me see this city, how many labs we've got going. This is because I was bullied and my game was called Lab Simulator or something. And that's not right. So 300 people in labs for 8,000 population. That's good. That's good. And that's the biggest change. The library. The library has now, it uses leather instead of paper. Small change, but it makes a lot of difference, I think. So that the city, the final city, it's not about one particular resources, which is good. So that you can spread out. And a lot of effort has gone into trade and such to try and make it so that you can focus on any resource. And so basically, in essence, all resources should, and all industries should be equally viable to trade, so that you can pick from them. But then with the randomness of the world which is created and your neighbors is going to dictate that you should focus in this or that resource. You can there's a nice display here where you can see what you can make and at what profit. Yes. So, but it has come to my attention that that might not work. So that's one of the things that I have marked for the next patch. And I believe I have fixed administration. It should be working now. And as a final note, there's been some criticism about the game, that I'm ruining the game. And I don't think that I am, for the reasons that are stated. It's not the individual features that are ruining the game, but I think that some feel that the game has been ruined for them because the game has been hard. You have to be a slave to all these systems that I've created in order to build a big city. And that's no longer the case. This is a very easy version. And I can show you what I mean. So the basic difficulty has been dropped quite significantly, I'd say. And that might be, some of you might hate me for that, but you have these difficulty settings, and I suggest using them to find the game that you enjoy. This is Despot, for instance. And I have some ideas about how to use this. I have some presets of difficulties here. And my idea has been to connect, because these should, in theory, play completely differently. So my aim is to tie achievements and titles to each of these, and you'll have to play all of them, basically, to get all the titles, to eventually manage to play Despot here, which is the ultimate thing for a true ruler. If you are one. Not everyone is a true ruler. Remember that. You probably aren't. And I'm sure as hell not either. That's what I have this. No, let me check my notes again so that I don't miss anything. That should be it. That should be it. So I'm going to work on a few things this summer. I'm going to take it a little bit easy this summer because I've moved into a new house and I need to do some real work, practical work on the house this summer. But then I'm going back and I'm working on 1.0, and I think there might be one or two smaller patches before 1.0. But this patch is really nice. I think it's really balanced, and there are only a few things that I want to fix. One is, for instance, emissaries. It's not really apparent how emissaries work and that you need to use them and how you should use them. So I'm going to streamline that a bit and make it better. And then there's also trade, which I don't think actually works the way I intended it to work. And I think, and then there's of course battles, which I want to spend a lot of time just focusing on battles. I have some things in mind. I have a very, you know, specific scenario. I know how I want it to play out. I want it to be very slow and a lot and ample time for tactics. And yeah, so I'm going to fix that as well. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this version. Please feel free to give me feedback, and don't be shy about giving me feedback, because the feedback I get, I have to dig for it in channels where I'm not present. So as you know, I'm always present on Discord, and you can email me, or you can write on Steam, and my friend Vanier will read that. And also Vanier has made a fantastic job on events this round. There's a lot new events concerning factions and regions and stuff like that. We've added some new functionality to that. So I hope you enjoy. Bye bye.